What's going on, guys? So, I was just reviewing some footage and I noticed this, what I suspected might be a glyph on the ground. And I heard, this the whole Sasquatch thing is it's discovery at its finest. It's detective work, and it depends on what you hear, and it's all about what you know and almost who you know sometimes, unless you can get out and really do it yourself. But this free information on the internet, and the fact that we're sharing this stuff is allowing everybody to advance and allowing everybody to kind of play on an even playing field. And I heard an interview about Sasquatch glyphting, and I keep seeing these things on the ground, and I'm wondering, are these real? Or do these mean something? What language could this be? In one interview I heard on the Brent and Solon channel, from a guy in New York State, was saying that they looked like they were Chinese to him. So I have been looking up Chinese characters and kind of trying to figure out, could this be something? Does this mean something? And I was just looking over this list and I saw a few things that kind of sparked my my interest. And it's tough because I'm on the internet. I'm looking at different stuff, different images of Chinese characters, trying to find ones with the translation underneath them. And I don't really have like the best site. I don't know how you go and turn a picture into a word. What kind of translator you can use to draw a glyph, a picture of a glyph, and have it turned into an English word. It's you can't. So what I'm doing is using this here and just kind of scrolling through, finding an image of something that I think might look like it, and then just trying to match up shapes. Let's see, where did I have this one? I thought this right here, this 8. Right here. 8. And I thought that looked similar, with the break at the top. This one, the break is towards the top, but it's really in the middle. And that's why you're kind of deciphering these things. But I just wanted to show you guys what I'm doing, because I saw some kind of funny ironies in here. With that, I thought, maybe it could be an 8. Maybe there's 8 members, or who knows, you know what I mean? I've heard people say, oh, I think each stick is in a teepee structure represents, a member of the clan. And I saw one guy, I'm gonna put a stick here, and if they leave it, that means they accept me. And I thought, well, that's kind of bogus. I don't think that's what that means. And I'm out there all the time, finding teepee structures and such. But I don't know for a fact a lot of this stuff. It's all just kind of discovery. So not only that one we had there, but there was also one in the corner that was, it was ironically the word for man. And then you can see the left side is poking up higher than the right side. Now, if this is upside down and we're looking at it, right now I'm looking at it like a V, but it needs to be looked at like an A without the line. That left side, indeed, is coming out a little bit farther on this side. Now, there's a break in the middle, and I don't know about interpreting Chinese language, but is this just like an interpretation of like handwriting, and everybody would have a little different variant of an A or a T or a capital H or whatever the case may be? Is this just an expression of handwriting, an expression of how they do things? I've noticed in New Hampshire, I've got to go and make a video about this. I noticed an X structure, but it would, instead of a clean X being made by 2 logs, one came up totally clean and the other came down and broke and was connected to the ground right at the base. And I saw that on 2 separate structures, and I don't know if they were both in New Hampshire or Maine, or if one was in New Hampshire and one was in Maine, but I wanted to go back and review my footage and make note of that too. But it's something that I'd made a mental note of months ago, and I'm just realizing now, as I'm talking to you on the video, that's something I want to do. But so could that mean broken man? Could it mean incomplete man? What could it mean? Man, but not man like human man? Man like Sasquatch man? I mean, is that, who knows? Like I said, I'm just coming up with these different interpretations of things here. What else did I see that I thought was funny? It was the word for again. Okay, I found it. It's almost like the Sasquatch are speaking to me, or the universe is speaking to you in this discovery. But the word for again, there in Chinese, is you. So it actually says you again. And that's how I kind of feel like I'm returning to this Sasquatch wigwam at the end of the trail, and I'm gifting to him, and I left him string. What happened is I returned, and the word for what I interpreted as big man, because I just learned here on one of these sites that there's 200 characters that make up the entire Chinese language, it said. So I'm not sure if that's a fact or how that works, but I think these images are combined. So the one for big and the one for man are similar. So big man would be like that man glyph right here on the top corner, but it would have a line across it, kind of representing big and man, so combining two into one. So anyway, as I went to the structure there, that one saying big man was still left intact, it seemed. The leaves had fallen on it, but it seemed intact. The one that I attempted to draw as friend, which indeed I thought looked a little less than perfect, was messed up and scattered askew. The sticks were all everywhere, and I was like, okay, that's weird. And I was so focused on the glyph, I didn't even notice that the string had been gone. I had a bracelet that had some beaded work in it that was just a, kind of like made in Mexico bracelet or something, Native American looking little bracelet that I'd had and I wore for a little bit in the summer, but it got wet and it broke. And then I ripped the thing off me one day, and then I hung it in the Sasquatch structure, and I also left a piece of string from my daughter's room, some yarn that she had been playing with, that probably smelled like her also. So I decided to bring one of each and put it in the structure, and I didn't even notice that stuff was gone when I returned. So it's in the video, but I was so focused on the glyfting. But it's just kind of cool to look through these and try to figure it out. It's funny, this right here, the square shape is actually the word for enclosure, and then the shape underneath it, which looks like somebody with their arms spread out dancing or something, is actually the word for square. So just looking at these, you see there's the word for big right there. But this is what I do, I'll find some of these and try to match them up and see, okay, are they trying to tell us something, or are we missing something? One other one that I wanted to make note of before the end of this video, and the reason I kind of decided to make this video overall, besides just making note of these things mentally for myself, is this one here. I noticed it's the word for speech, and to me that looks like a rock stack. And I went up into the hills yesterday. I didn't make a movie because I just found a lot of tree snaps and stuff, and I actually was in the Movie Maker program, and I was halfway through the video making it, and I was so tired I just closed the program and went to bed and decided, I'll start over if I want to make it. I kind of found like a tree perch and some kind of cool stuff out there, but it wasn't the most productive day. I didn't find a definitive structure, and like I said, I got frustrated making the video. But the one thing I did see while I was walking along the trail was a bunch of these little tiny rock stacks, and I'm like, are people making these, or Sasquatch? Because I think the Sasquatch do make them, but where people make them are like places that they need to be when you're out in a field or in a rock field or something, or out in the open. Maybe there's a switchback and they want to convey to you, hey, the trail comes back this way. But this was through the forest on a very established single-track trail that mountain bikers and hikers are using, and I'm like, there's no reason that people would be making trail markers other than just to make little things to be noticed. But then I thought, are the Sasquatch making things to be noticed? And then I see the word speech, and I'm like, that's kind of like metaphoric, like they're speaking to us. They're putting a rock stack out, and maybe I'm just suggesting, like, maybe there's a large rock on the base, or a larger rock, a fatter rock, and then maybe two with a flat large rock and a little one placed on top. I mean, I'm sure I've seen rock stacks that are almost made up of that exact composition of shaped of rocks, but whether it was done on purpose or not is another matter. But that's why we're documenting, that's why we're theorizing, that's why it's like we're scuba diving in the vast ocean, and we're barely breaking the surface, and we're just looking down at this going, could it be? Look at that. But it's hard to go up and really know this stuff, so we're just kind of skimming along, making note of this information. But if nothing else, that's kind of an irony that that word for speech looks like a rock stack, and I was seeing all those rock stacks yesterday, and like I said, this is kind of the universe speaking to you when you're doing this discovery with the Sasquatch. There are amazing things that may happen to you that you might not even want to talk about publicly because it's in the woo camp, and it's, not everybody believes in that kind of stuff, but I mean, it's real. It's happened to me. It happens to people, but you want to stay focused on the scientific documentation and theorization of some of these aspects just to stay acceptable, and then everything else will kind of fall in place, I think. So anyway, good luck with your research, everybody. I hope this inspired someone on the internet, because there's a lot of other people inspiring me out there. So appreciate everybody watching. Take care. Have a blessed 2018.